Very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Bienvenue en France. Welcome here in Alès. Welcome to the world premiere of the new IDR Pikes Peak. My name is Maren Braun. It's a pleasure to say hello to everybody, and I have the great pleasure to guide you through the next 30 minutes. It's an honor for me, actually, to say hello and welcome to all our international guests here at Alès, right at the racetrack. And at the same time, I would like to say hello to everybody who is watching the live stream at home, at their screens all over the world. So you're welcome too, of course, and it's great that you're joining us. Yes, there are some exciting minutes lying before you or in front of you, and I think everybody is really curious to see what's hiding under this cover. But before we start with our presentation, I would like to give the word to our host here today. He's the head of product communication at Volkswagen I.D, and he's really keen on saying hello to you personally. So welcome to Florian Obic.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maren. Warm welcome also from my side. Welcome to Alès. Welcome to Volkswagen. Warm welcome also to everybody who's watching on the live stream. Today is a very emotional and special moment for us. The world premiere of the IDR Pikes Peak marks the premiere of the first fully electric race car in the history of Volkswagen. But as you will be able to see in a few moments, it's not only a fascinating race car, and it doesn't only look good, but it also truly belongs to the ID family. The ID family, we showed you a few show cars within the last few months, and the first series production car will have its world premiere in 2019. But with the IDR Pikes Peak, we want to show that electromobility is also very emotional, very dynamic, and high performance. And the electric powertrain that powers our IDR Pikes Peak has its very own fascination. I don't want to give away too much now, because there are people who can explain it a lot better than I can. But I can tell you, this car will create some stir. And another reason for that is it carries the R badge, which is the symbol for the most powerful and dynamic Volkswagen. So, but now it's time for those who are the fathers of this car, and I want to clear the stage and give a warm welcome to Sven Smets and FX de Maison.
Thank you very much, Florian. Yes, welcome. Welcome, Sven Smets, FX de Maison.
Welcome in France.
Yes, yeah, it's your hometown, so it's even more special for you to be standing here today in front of a car that certainly cost you lots of work the last months, but lots of great work. And I'm sure, Sven, this is a very special moment for you now, because in a few minutes, the two of you will reveal the car that you were working on, actually, we could say day and night during the last months. So how special is that moment for you now?
Well, first of all, welcome everybody here at home. Well, yes, it's a very special moment. When we got the final go in August from the board with this project, we knew that the time frame was going to be very, very short, about 8 months. And what the team has achieved in Hanover is just amazing. I mean, building a car like that in 8 months, I was a little bit skeptic in the beginning, but I've always believed in them, gave them the full credit, and I really have to thank them all, FX and the whole team, for what they have done. Also our partners, I have to say, the battery people in Braunschweig, Ansys, Michelin, they've worked day and night around the clock to make this happen. And so, yes, super proud to be standing here.
So you were building a race car for a race that's not just a race. It is really a difficult, a very challenging race. And Pikes Peak is not only the most famous, but also the most difficult hill climb competition there is in the world. We have special things like it's a 20-kilometer sprint with so many tricky turns and challenges on the way. The finish line is on 4,300 meters above sea level. So a lot of things you have to consider while building a car. How difficult was it to build an all-electric race car for that race?
Well, not so easy, as you say. There are some parameters that, of course, influence that one-off that you have, because that's it. You only have one chance in that race. So yes, I mean, for example, for the car, the cooling, of course, is a very big thing as the higher you go. So we have had some challenges there. And also, of course, you know, you go up a hill, so you don't want to carry too much weight, as I know FX hates weight. So we have to make a good compromise between power weight of the car and all these parameters together. So yes, it was very challenging for us to build this car, and then also, of course, to bring the car there and to charge the car there, because at 2,800 meters, the facilities are not that what we have here today, for example. So we have had some challenges on the road, yes.
I imagine, and perhaps this is a good moment to also ask FX. Sven already said that there were a lot of compromises you had to do and you had to find. How difficult was it to find these compromises? Which ones were the most difficult ones?
Well, the most difficult one is always the weight. Sven already said that for a race car, the weight is always the biggest, our biggest enemy. So, and in electric cars, the battery is always also the heaviest part. So we have to fight a lot to find the best compromise in terms of battery weight, energy, capacity, and then the maximum power. That was mostly the biggest challenge for our team.
We'll get many more technical details from you anyway later on once we have revealed the car. But Sven, before we do so, I would like to talk a little bit with you about the history of that race, which is really long. And also Volkswagen plays a little role in that, but it's a long time ago. In 1987 was the last year where Volkswagen was running for victory in that race. Unfortunately, very close, just a few turns away from the finish line. The race was over, but we could say so there is kind of a bill still open, right? What are the goals set for this year, for your return to Pikes Peak?
Well, for our return, the goal is that we, of course, beat the electric record. That is there from Reese Millen. That was done in 2016. And one of the reasons why we are going to Pikes Peak is also because we have this bill to settle, We've been really good in lots of disciplines. We've won Dakar, we won WRC championship for 4 years. We've won the TCR title last year, and this is one that's open. So this one came very quickly on the project to go with an e-car so that we can settle that score too.
But all the examples you just mentioned show that already in the past you got some projects run to full success in a short time. So I think you have a lot of experience to get this kind of project running. But experience is so important in the race at Pikes Peak. And this is actually probably something that you were missing doing your development work, missing experience on the track, on these certain circumstances that you can meet at Pikes Peak. And there are so many circumstances that you can't even influence. Which are the most important ones?
Well, there are, of course, the weather. We all pray for good weather that day on Sunday, but when it's raining, then you can of course drive for victory in the race, but getting the record through will be very difficult. And as you say, it can be nice at 2,800, but really awful up there. So it's going to be a very tough one, and we have to let the whole world praise for sun that day.
But we can sum up. We have a great car that we are going to go soon. We have a great driver we should probably talk about also right now, because it will be Romain Dumas who will be driving the I.D. Pikes Peak, a driver who has a lot of experience. He won 2 times in Le Mans. He won 3 times the Pikes Peak race, which probably is some experience that's really useful for you, right?
Yeah, when we got the go, then very quickly we came who is going to drive the car, because that's a very important factor of this this race. And I think we all came straight away with the same name, Romain Dumas. First of all, because of course he's driving for Porsche, one of our sister companies. And Romain has so much experience. He has experience in Le Mans, he's doing rally, he's doing actually nearly everything. And one of his projects was always Pikes Peak. And as you say, he has won it now 3 times, so he has been fantastic, really helpful for us to speed up the process, to have the simulator ready much quicker, because he knows Pikes Peak. Unfortunately, tonight he's not here because he had a race, as he always has in the weekend.
Very busy man.
Yeah, he's a very busy man, but he's traveling at this right moment, and he will be here tomorrow morning for everybody available that wants to ask questions to Romain.
Okay, very good. That's good to know for you too. So I think it's time to have a look at this car. I would say everybody's curious here at Alès and out there on the live stream. So gentlemen, please take your positions. I will go to the side and you will take away the cover. Of course, we have prepared a little, like your music. No, wait. We have to ask first. Everybody ready? Here we go. You like it, huh? That car looks amazingly quick already while standing. It doesn't even have to run. It's great. Wait, I want to get out of the way of all these cameras. I can step wherever I want and I'm in the picture. So, Sven, FX, you're looking at your baby here. This must be really a great moment for you, I imagine.
Yeah, a little bit speechless because I only saw it not even decorated at the end of this week. Yeah, and to see it standing here and driving tomorrow is fantastic, of course. Yeah, a fantastic car. I think again they've done such a great job in 8 months, and to have it standing here ready to go is fantastic.
And as we have the technical director from Volkswagen Motorsport with us, of course we have to talk with him about all the technical details, FX. I think there are a lot of interesting details on that car. Perhaps you can talk us through the most important ones.
Well, we already talked about the weight and the weight of the battery.
Just step a little closer to your car. You don't have to.
I don't want to disturb the photographer. They're all happy to take pictures, so I will be not, as nice as the car.
They like you to be in the picture, I'm sure. Okay. Anyway, the most important details.
Well, as we say, the battery was the biggest challenge, because the energy density today of a battery is a known value, and we wanted for sure to increase the energy density and reduce the weight. So that was our main focus, to try to find the lightest battery as possible with the most energy. The aero for sure. I mean, there is no rules in this race. The only rules are the safety rules. So we worked a lot on aerodynamic. We were helped by our colleague from Porsche to do this. You can see, I mean, there is some Porsche things.
Inspiration.
So we have, the altitude. With the altitude, we are losing some aero effect. So we had to do really big wings. It's why the wings looks a bit too big for the car, but this is free weight on the wheel. So that was a big effort for this.
The fact that there are actually no rules for the technical side of the car, does it make things easier or more difficult?
Well, it makes it more difficult for the finance department, because our only limit is the budget. Then. But for engineers, it's fantastic. You have no restrictions. So the aero people, they really enjoy to work on this car, because they had the full freedom to do what they wanted and just to make the best aero efficiency as possible.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so shy. You always stay away from your car, but I think it's really go to it, because it's really something you were working on, and show us we are
still working on it.
Yeah, I imagine.
There is 65 days to the race, so we will work the next 55 days flat out, for sure. That's
an interesting topic. You had to work flat out constructing this car already, but now we have April, May, June, just 2 months left until the start of the race. How is the testing schedule in this short time?
Well, the next 2 weeks, it's planned to test in Europe. Then for sure, to adapt the tires, to find the best compromise in terms of battery. Again, I mean engine power, motor power. Sorry, I'm still in the petrol engine. In aero, I mean the tires also. So these 2 weeks will be very busy to test here in the south of France. Then we will fly the cars to US. So unfortunately, it will all be again 2 weeks to do this, and then we start testing in Pikes Peak end of May.
Okay.
Until the race.
Looking at the aerodynamics again, because I think this is really something that strikes the eye when you're watching at this car. I'm sure aerodynamics at that car for Pikes Peak works differently from how aerodynamics for a normal race car on a normal racetrack works, right?
Yeah, for sure. As I said, the altitude will reduce. I mean, with altitude, the density of the air is going down, so to get the same effort, same load on the wheels, we need to go to bigger wings. So that's the main thing, like the cooling, like mentioned Sven. We're also losing efficiency. So that was the main, some of the main topics we have to push for this car.
How hard was it to find out these differences without the experience at that racetrack? Let's go to the front again so the people in the live stream see us better.
We did a lot of simulation and a lot of tests in wind tunnel, but now start the real life, and we'll see if we did our homework properly, because simulation is one thing, but real race is coming now.
Okay, so Sven, come to us. I think a fascinating car. I'm sure everybody is really curious and looking forward to see it at Pikes Peak, 2 months' time. Also lots of work for you, not only for the technicians working right on the car, but I think there's a lot of things to do still for everybody, but a lot of work done already in a very short time too. How proud are you of your team, Sven?
Well, like I said already in the beginning, I'm just super proud. It's, for me, unbelievable what has been done in 8 months. Also, when you see what we have prepared for charging the car at Pikes Peak and so on. I mean, the whole company, actually, from logistics to designers to, I mean, every department has been really 24 hours around the clock to get this ready, and will be also, like Efik said, the next 65 days. So when that car goes up the hill at the end of June, I will be very proud standing there, of course, with hopefully that result that we really want, and to make that blank score away from 1987.
I imagine. So today is done one very important step, but there are many more to do until June and the start of the race. I say thank you to FX, thank you to Sven. It's now time, I think, for a nice photo shooting, because cameras were working all the time, but what you need is certainly a picture with those two gentlemen beside the car. You will get that now. We found out that this is the best point. I will show it to you. So just come here. Where I stand now, this is the place for Sven Smits and FX de Maison. Now they're fighting for the places here. Okay, perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, just take your photos. I hide away for a moment. And once these photos are done, I would say Florian Orbic also should be part of the photo, and Jockey Klein, please join the team too. Jockey Klein is here today. He's the one actually who was driving that race we were talking about a minute ago. I will have to get out of the picture. How can I do to go to the other side of the car now? I have to sneak? No, I can't. Anyway, I'll tell from here, off voice now for a moment. Jockey Klein was driving the Golf in 1987, the race we were just talking about, and he will be available here for you too. And he brought also his original car from then. So, a lot of stories to tell. Anyway, I have to sneak in for a short moment. Okay. I think this is a great photo, and the best moment actually, could you hold that for a moment so I can go to my camera, because this is actually the moment I have to say goodbye to our spectators in the live stream because this is the end of the official part of that presentation. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I think these gentlemen deserve a little applause for the car and for being here, telling us everything about it. Of course, for everybody here, there will be a chance to do more photos and do more talks to our spectators in the live stream. I have to say goodbye. It was great to have you with us, and don't forget to be back again in June for the race at Pikes Peak. So bye-bye to everybody on the live stream, and thanks for joining. Okay, so